Hey, what is up guys? Marcy here, back to do another video, and today I've got two awesome games that I want to share with you all, and this is going to be against Dimitri, and I'm going to be Traveler 59 in both, but they are really special games. And I'm going to be playing up in the top of this map, which is going to be Tournament Decision, no poker. Now there has been a change to this map, as you can probably tell by now. There is now 2 Tiberium spikes per player. Previously there was only 1. So it's going to be much more reminiscent of the original Decision, where there were 2 spikes there as well. So this is going to feel normal. The eco is not going to be any different to the regular Decision, only there's no poker with the spikes. That's what it should have been to begin with. But for some reason one of the spikes was removed. Not sure what I'm typing here, because I am commentating this over my video, and I can't watch the video like in the raw high quality. But I can make out just what's happening. I'm going for a Descent Rush nonetheless. And I'm versus Black Hand in this game, and I remember thinking, I thought he was playing random. But he wasn't. He picked Black Hand. And that's going to mean some bad news for me, because I'm going for the Descent Rush, and Descent's not particularly good against Black Hand. Now Descents in R19 for Traveler don't have that silly difference with the armor. They have the same armor as the Scrin Descents. The only thing that is different now is the Advanced Articulators are 10% slower. So all the T-59 infantry move 10% slower, besides the Prodigy, which obviously doesn't get that upgrade. Epic hit here by Dimmy on those Descents, cleaning up almost all of my Disintegrator squads. That Cabal there really paying off, and I've only got 2 or 3 squads left, which is unfortunate. So this rush essentially did nothing. And I'm even going to run past another Cabal. I've got this stasis chamber powered down, and you're probably thinking, Lee, this is insane. You're not ecoing up behind this. You're going for a tier 2. You powered down your stasis chamber. You can always expect the craziest of strats coming out from me, and this game is probably one of the crazier ones. So I'm going for a bunch of Ravagers here on this 1 refinery. I did manage to squeeze out 3 Harvesters, so that's going to be pretty good income. The most income I can get on 1 field. That extra spike on this map definitely helping me in this game. Power down my War Factory so I can queue these Ravagers a little bit quicker, and I'm sending my drone ship to the middle of the map here, because I know I'm low on resources. I need to be super cost effective. I need to be very smart with my decisions. So I'm building these Ravagers. I know he's going to probably be building Raider Buggies to counter this, and what better thing to do than to send my drone ship to the defensive towers, put down a portal, and grab those towers. It will also allow me to place base defenses to, you know, complement those defensive towers with buzzer hives. I can even grab that EMP control center in the middle. These Ravagers are also a little bit nicer in R19. They got a little bit more range compared to the 1.02. Now they were nerfed in several aspects compared to R18. The speed, as I mentioned in the start, they move a little bit slower, and the tip agitation ability has been reverted to how it used to work in 1.02. So what I mean by that is, if you lose a Ravager member, then you just get less damage output on your tip agitation. Flame Tank gets just sniped immediately in the middle. Those 2 towers there definitely paying off, but I did have trouble taking the other one. I'm about to do that now. Queued a cultist in my main base, because I did just about see a flame tank go in that direction. He's got flame tanks there, and I almost made a misclick. Unfortunately for me though, Dimmy pulled back his flame tank. That was nice. So I got this cultist in my base. I'm trying to find the flame tanks. Dimmy there got his MCV deployed. I was fearful that he was going to tech up to tier 3 quickly and get the supercharged particle beam upgrade and just, you know, shut down those Ravager squads, which is what he can do. But because he went into those flame tanks, this is going to give me some time. It's also going to give me a flame tank. So yeah, thanks very much. I'll have that. I'm Traveler 59. So your unit becomes my unit. Now, taking up to tier 3 for him would be an excellent call, because he can also click my ref, and I've only got 1 refinery in this game. See a Harvester there, so I'm going to launch all of my tip agitation onto that, and there is a special new death call effect on these Ravagers. Now, thanks to the hostile negotiator who I keep mentioning in my videos, but yeah, this guy's a legend when it comes to like Kane's right fixes. When he told me how to make the Ravagers shoot a moving target every time. He also fixed an issue where the Ravager didn't show an effect which should have been in the game, where if you use the tip agitation, it does this really nice fancy effect. Apparently EA forgot to add something to enable it, but really awesome nonetheless. You'll probably see what I mean if I get the chance to use tip agitation again. But Dimmy, he is still making infantry. Rockets coming out for him. He's got that infantry upgrade, but because of my drone ship position, I'm going to be able to defend against infantry. As you can see, I've got build radius around these towers. And got these defensive towers there. They are unfortunately shooting infantry, but they don't have much else to shoot at the current time. You do need to micro these because they sometimes are a little bit dumb. Now I decided to move my Ravagers in here, which was a little bit of a mistake. Now Ravagers, while they were good for the hit and run tactics, they're not really good against infantry like this in mass. Cabals and rockets will just tear those up. He had a million buggies as well, so I'm trying to hold this back. There's a cultist squad there, not going to do too much with that. There's just only raider buggies coming into my base. There's no bikes, so the damage output of those isn't going to be very much. I've got the tier 3 down now and a bunch of flame tanks as well heading my way, and this is one of the best temporal wormholes as well, because now I can start using this defensive tower to, you know, lay down some hurt on these flame tanks. I'm going to kill 2 flame tanks with that defensive tower. Mecha P comes out just in time. And this defensive tower is still on full health. You can see my EMP is almost ticked down, which is going to be really crucial in holding back these 2 flame tanks. I just about used the EMP ability. And I did lose my Warp Sphere, which is unfortunate, but I did hold the flame tanks briefly. The defensive tower is still alive. I just focused down another one of his flame tanks. There's just raider buggies there for him. The flame tank does get destroyed, so I've killed that one. The Megapede lives, and these 2 buzzer hives are still being a nuisance, killing all of this infantry. Buggy's camping my portal because I do have a Prodigy being queued. Now he probably assumes that's a Prodigy. Harvest is taking damage, not too much though. The Megapede there will save my harvesters from being destroyed by these flimsy raider buggies. And pretty intense game so far. I think you guys would agree that that was probably one of the sickest defensive holds that I've really had on this map. I can't remember a time where those defensive towers were used in such a way with an MCV as well. I was behind in the start and I leveraged the map to get back into this game. Now I'm still behind. I did just lose a refinery. I've got 2 Mecha Ps and a Prodigy, but at least I have my tier 3 now. There's a bike for me, which I'm going to use. I'm not sure if I'm going to include the commentary that I did have in this game, but maybe in parts I will. Bike will get a nice scout for me, which is funny. Bikes have pretty good vision range. I can see he's got a tier 3, he's got charged particle beams. I'm working on my Hexapod because, you know, I need that against his Redeemer. A lot of infantry there for me. Area mind control on Inf only lasts 6 seconds, but that's enough for his particle beam shredder turrets to just kill the infantry that I take over. Cultist there, which I'm going to use to take over his harvesters, because he's now out of Tiberium. I've got a lot of tib at my disposal left over, because I was so cost effective before. He hasn't got an expansion down. I see he's got a Redeemer being queued, and I noticed that his Redeemer facility is in a really good position for me to jump with my Prodigy. Now, Prodigies do have less teleport range now compared to before. It's not nearly as oppressive, but that's still enough of a range to go ahead and jump down the mountain and take over that MCB and the Redeemer engineering facility as well. The Prodigy taking over those 2 structures. Not a good placement for Dimmy, but I used the that bit of terrain on this map to, again, do some pretty game-changing stuff. Bike buggy there will intercept, well, his harvester, but it became mine technically. Hexapod comes out, and I'm going to queue Devastators at this point because he can only really build infantry, or he can go mass bike buggy, but he doesn't have any income now. He can only go to the top of the map. I've got these 2 Mechapedes, which I'm going to use to just, you know, cut off these harvesters, and Dimmy decides to throw it in. And that was a pretty awesome game. I really did enjoy that game, man. Really a nice highlight in my opinion. And I'm going to go on to the next game, which will be on Tournament Dustbowl, if I recall correctly. yeah, guys, that's going to be an awesome one as well. So stay tuned because I've got one more coming up. So let's get on to that game. Alright guys, and welcome back to the second game of this video. I'm spawning you all today because it's not just one game, we got the second game. But the reason why I don't post a lot of games in the summertime is because it's just way too hot here to like process videos. It's just insane. This summer has been incredibly hot, and this room I'm in is really small as well. What I'm going to do real quick is just mute this track so I don't hear myself talking, because I'm just going to provide you all with dub commentary this particular match. But yeah, this is going to be a really sick game on Dustbowl. Really having a blast playing R19 in recent days. But did play bike one game yesterday, but I had connection issues, so I had to abort that. Now, instead of just moaning and complaining about internet like I always do, I actually did something yesterday. I purchased an antenna, and I'm going to mount it outside on a post and feed the wiring into the home. So rather than relying on the inbuilt antennas in my router, I'm going to have something with way more gain outside, which should make a substantial difference. It should make it more consistent, especially during the peak hours. So that's my solution to the problem. If that doesn't fix it, then you know I'm all out of options, but at least I gave it a shot. And here's me hoping that it works fine. It would be really nice, guys, because I think my viewership would go up if I didn't have connection difficulty. I would be able to get more games as well to show you all, and I wouldn't have any like dips in my connection. It would be for the best. I can maybe take Kane's draft a little bit more seriously, competitively, because I'll be able to play properly most of the time. Not just at 2 o'clock in the morning where it's stable. So I'm in this game playing as Trav59. My opponent Dimmy once again going to be playing as a Blackhand. It's a pretty classic matchup this. One of my favorites back in the day, and it still is. It's just such a nice matchup to play. But of course the Blackhand do have the problem against the Prodigy, but not so much anymore because of that teleport range was reduced by 33%. That's a pretty significant difference. If you guys download and install R19 and you check the Prodigy out, use its self-teleport ability, you'll find that it has quite a lot less range. And that was one of the biggest things that was imbalanced about it. The health was reverted to how it used to be, because it's just silly having the Mastermind and the Prodigy with 2 different health values. I mean, they should be the exact same unit, except the Prodigy has more abilities. If the Prodigy is OP, don't nerf its base health, just nerf the ability that makes it OP. I mean, common sense is like the Disintegrators. Why is the Scrin Descent balanced and the Traveler one not? Well, let's see now. That's probably because it has a speed upgrade, so let's just nerf the speed. And by the way, in 1.02, EA decided to buff the speed by 10% on advanced articulators. They not only made the upgrade cost less, the advanced articulators, but they also, you know, just for good measure, made the upgrade speed a little bit more. Now, they only patched this game twice, so, you know, they did their best considering they only had 2 tries at a patch. And considering the state that this game was in 1.0, then I feel like they did a great job. But, you know, the community nowadays can patch these issues and make it a more balanced game. I think it's a much better state now than it used to be. Much more fun as well. I'm going for Ravagers once again. I'm building Corruptors because I want to clear the middle of the map of Cabals so I can make way for my Ravagers. This is my plan here. Plus I can use the healing ability of the Corruptor to heal my infantry or my vehicles. Scrin infantry and vehicles alike get healed by the Corruptor spray. Got a mixture of Scrin vehicles. No shields for my vehicles as Traveler. This is the compromise that you make when you pick Traveler 59. You don't get shields on your units, but you do get quicker infantry, which is a big deal. I prefer this to getting shields on my units. Makes the games more interesting because you've got more transition options. You can go into tripods, or then you can go back into infantry, or even aircraft later on is really viable for Traveler. I've got these Ravagers. I'm going to send them to the right side of the map, just try and contain this bike buggy for as long as possible. He's building up a force of bike buggy. Not much action has happened so far, but he's been stacking forces. I've got these Ravagers, hoping that he doesn't scout them. He hasn't scouted them just yet. He has no clue that these exist. As far as he's concerned, he's probably expected me to have tripods by now. But I've got these Ravagers, and fortunately for me, he decided to take on that army. And I'm carefully micromanaging my Ravs so he doesn't get a whiff of them, hoping that they don't reveal themselves. A couple of bikes being destroyed on the retreat. I'm building shock troopers now because those are nicer. They don't stop firing. They've got a better acceptable aim delta. Now what does that mean, Leaf? It means that they just shoot moving targets a lot better than they used to. So I've got these Ravagers here. I'm going to target down the Harvester in the refinery because it will do splash damage to the refinery itself. And there's a couple of engagements happening at the same time here. Shock Troopers out for me. I've got the Ravagers in the base there causing damage. There's a Harvester, which I'm just going to target with the regular Ravager attack. Ravagers do decent damage to vehicles, but not much else. I've got a Storm Column, which I'm about to drop as well. Shock Troopers being destroyed outside of the portal. I did teleport them back, though, to see if I can destroy those bikes. Units camping his War Factory, so if I can destroy this army in my base, then he won't have any reinforcements, because those are being destroyed. I decided to move the Harvesters to the safety of my Storm Column. The Storm Column is really good, especially when the bikes get underneath that cloud, because then the cloud will do damage as well. Shredder turret's coming down for Dimmy, but he doesn't have the charged particle beams. And watch this tip agitation, guys. It's insane. Look at this. This could be the highlight, one of the highlights of the videos. Oh, wow, that's just incredible. I killed 3 Harvesters there with the tip agitation. That splash damage was absolutely insane, killing 3 Harvesters, even splashing the refinery. I've got an elite Ravager squad there. The bikes are being slowly torn apart by those by the Storm Column. 1 tripod comes out for me because I managed to recall those Harvesters to the other refinery. It's going to allow me to get another tripod out. I've got an elite Ravager squad. I should have really targeted the elite Rav with the Corruptor just to heal it up, but I don't have much XP to go before this goes to heroic. So I'm targeting down these Scorpion tanks, pulling back the elite Ravager because I know that it is prone to being destroyed in that state. Now there we see the heroic Ravager. Look how much damage this does. This is just crazy. This is not buffed in any way as far as the damage goes. These always dealt that damage to vehicles. And that was another game that I felt was really, really fun. Showcasing the Ravagers against Blackhand if unscouted. It's like unscouted flame tanks. You got to respect them now. You got to really scout the edges of the map because they are a genuine threat for these factions now. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, guys, and I certainly enjoyed casting it. And if you did enjoy it, then don't forget to smash the like button. I would really appreciate that. And I would also like to thank everyone who has been supporting me on Patreon. And if you guys want to support me as well, who haven't already been subscribing on Patreon, I do highly encourage that if you want to see the development of the 4K mod continue, because that would motivate me further. And also to do more of these videos, but you don't have to, just a like will do fine, and that's all I ask of you. And yeah, guys, this is gonna be it. This is gonna be me, Master Leaf, and I'll see you all next time. Peace out.